vaccine developers are trying to compress a 10-year process into about a year and a half, and the vaccine they come up with might not even be effective. One of the UK's top vaccination experts says the first generation of COVID-19 vaccines are likely to be imperfect. Kate Bingham, the chair of the Vaccine Task Force, said many of the vaccine candidates under development could fail. That's why scientists are proposing a different, more controversial model. They're called challenge trials, and they involve vaccinating volunteers and then deliberately infecting them.
A tiny risk is worth it for the benefit of developing a vaccine.
Usually, vaccine trials split the participants into two groups. One is given a placebo and the other is given the vaccine candidate. This is the part of the Phase 3 human trial, and tens of thousands of participants need to be given the vaccine before it can be distributed. The problem is, it's slow. You wait for months, possibly years, to see how many of the group potentially gets COVID-19 as they go about their lives. Meanwhile, thousands of people are dying around the world every day. In a challenge trial, all volunteers are given the vaccine and all are infected with the coronavirus.
We can do a challenge trial with 40 people and get a very informative result on whether a vaccine is working.
Human challenge trials have been used before for cholera, typhoid, malaria, and even for the common cold. But there's one major problem with using a challenge trial to find a COVID vaccine. All these other illnesses had treatments, so if participants did get sick, they could easily recover with drugs that were already available. But with COVID, there is no way to guarantee a vaccine trial would be safe for participants.
I'm not a supporter of challenge trials at the moment, because what do? They inject healthy volunteers with a virus for which we have no cure.
We don't have a proven treatment yet, and participants would have to commit to the trial accepting this risk.
We need to really carefully think about and accept that things could go wrong. If I end up in hospital, if I end up on a ventilator, then I think I would still think the same thing, because it's providing so much good to so much of humanity that nothing I do would be in vain.
And the long-term risks for people who get COVID-19 and recover are still unknown. In a typical trial, developers would recruit the widest range of people possible, whereas a challenge trial would only produce data on a group of young, healthy people, meaning there's a possibility that a vaccine that works for that group might not work for everyone. But the goal isn't to get a perfect vaccine that prevents infection. In the US, to be deemed sufficiently effective, a vaccine just has to work 50% better than not being vaccinated. An imperfect vaccine would still slow the spread of the virus.